everybody about yourself and your contribution to line music.
Well, once again, I go by the name of Big Mucci out of Cleveland, Ohio. And, I've been doing the line dance movement since 97, so that's over 20 years. And my whole thing is just making people have fun, enjoying themselves and dancing.
Okay, I can dig it. So, what was life before the music?
Well, before the music, I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps, and I just grew up dancing and just having a good time, having fun. And once I got out the military, once I came home and got into the music, and it just went on from there.
It was on and popping, right?
Oh yeah. And the thing is it just happened. It wasn't like I planned it to happen. It just, the people, they just made me who I am. So, I made my first line dance, the booty bounce in 97, and people just make another one. And I made another one, then make another one. And it just been going on all the way to now. People still like, when the next one coming out? So, yeah.
You know what I really appreciate? I want you to tell everybody what it took to make booty bounce. I love how you explain that. That's crazy to me.
Well, what it was is once I got to Cleveland, and say back, I left the military, then I stayed in California for a while. So once I got back to Cleveland, house music was a real big thing. You had the percolator, the H in this house, and all that stuff. So at the clubs, they used to just go crazy over it. And I'm like, man, I could make the same thing he making. I said, all they do is say the same words over and over again. And then I was just telling a friend of mine, I said, man, I'm gonna make a song like that. And then it used to be one friend of mine that she used to always be dancing around, bouncing like a little bunny rabbit in the club every time the song came on. So I just came up with, I'm like, let me see that booty bounce. Let me see that booty bounce. And I used to say it over the house record while she was dancing. You know how some people get amped up, like now they be like, hey, all that stuff the females do. So I was just like, let me see that. I was like, oh, man, I'm gonna make that a record. And I went to the studio, had a hard time getting it done because nobody didn't want to make house music. Everybody was on the gangster music because, at the time, No Limit was real good and Death Row Records, Snoop and the Dog Pound, all them was popping. So people like, man, ain't nobody gonna play that fast stuff, and nobody ain't gonna play that in their trucks. So I'm like, man, I said, I ain't making this for the dudes. I'm making this for the women. So he's like, man, I'm just gonna put you on the boards and just teach you how to make these beats, and you just make it yourself. So. And then voila, it blew up. Nobody ain't believe it was me because, it was so fire for me to be first. They're like, never been in the studio, never did anything like this before.
Right.
And I did it. And me and my friends, we put a little dance together, and we had a dance with me and my man TLC. And we put the dance together, and we just said, okay, every time that song come on, we're going to do our dance. When the song come off, we ain't going to do it no more. And it just stuck and blew up. And then people started saying, well, what you got next? What you got next? I'm like, well, I wasn't thinking about nothing next. I was just doing this just for that. But then I'm at work. I used to work at down in Tower C. I was working at McDonald's at the time, just something to do. And they was playing Billie Jean over the radio, at the end of the night when we was cleaning up. So I was just in there making up steps while I was washing the dishes. And then next thing you know, that's when I made the Cleveland Shuffle. Went to the studio, I'm like, man, I need this loop. Put a dance together, like, oh, do the shuffle. That sucker blew up. People like, man, this is crazy. You got 2 back-to-back hits, and you never even dreamed about being in the music business or none of this,
Right.
It just came natural. And then ever since then, I just started making line dances and making the music to go with it. And it seemed like everyone I've been dropping just been blowing up.
It's been popping off. So, the Cleveland Shuffle released in 1998 and again in 2002. And in fact, there are 9 versions of the song online. With each release, the song has become more and more infectious. Why do you think the Cleveland Shuffle is so popular? It's even the song for the Cleveland Cavaliers, right?
They play there like a lot of the Cavs. They play it for the Cleveland Indians, the Browns. Like when the mayors get nominated, into the office, they play it at the little surprise, celebration parties and stuff like that. And it was just, the thing was, when I made it in 97. It was just an instrumental at first. It was like, oh, do shuffle, do, just the music. But then with radio, they liked it because it was so much of a big hit in the clubs from like Cleveland, Akron, Toledo, Columbus, and stuff like that. So they were like, well, we can't really play it on the radio because it's just an instrumental. You know what I'm saying? We need some vocals to it. So that's when I had to go back to the lab, and then I had to put the vocals on it. bam, that blew up, going through little issues and things like that. So I'll say maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, I said, you know what, this is like the 20th anniversary. I said, let me go ahead and remake it, add some up-to-date beats to it, because you got to think, the music sound changed from the 90s to now.
Right.
As far as the mixing and mastering, and then just the quality of the bass and the beats. So I just redid it. Now it's called the rebirth of the shuffle, and it started to take back off again. Same dance, same concept, but just feel good music.
Right. It go hard no matter what. So you are the first person in Cleveland to make line dancing music with your own performances. How much work goes into the creation of line dancing, making the choreography, as well as the unique, fun, and new song?
Well, the thing is when you're making it, it's like when you're creating a dance to a song, it have to match the song.
That's right.
So, like when I was making it, like the beats always come to my head first. And then with the beats, I just come up with the steps and just start thinking about, would this look right? Or would this make people like, oh, this is awkward, So I have to make sure when I'm creating my dances that it flows with the record, So when the song come on, it's like, oh, okay, this is perfect, and you can really do it, and it's easy for you. Because some people make things complicated, and you be like, man, hold on, you stumbling over your feet and all that because the counts ain't right. So it's all about the counts, and then the music to go along with it to make it the right record.
Okay. Now, and I'm toggling backwards. From 4th grade to 8th grade, you majored in modern dance and ballet with a minor in drama. In fact, it's noted that you wanted to be a background dancer for MC Hammer or a dancer for Soul Train. Is it safe to say that you were going to find your way into entertainment and music one way or another?
Yeah, well, like I say, my thing was just dancing. I was like a little street dancer, hip hop, things like that. And like I said, that was one of my biggest things, to dance for MC Hammer. I wanted to be a Hammer dancer so bad. And when I got a chance, and it was funny, and Soul Train. And this is a funny story, is that once I got the military, they sent me to California, for processing to come home. But once I got to California, I stayed because I knew that's where Soul Train was recorded at. And of course, MC Hammer is from California. So I'm like, well, if I could do one, I like, trying to find connects, but back then we ain't have social media.
Right.
It wasn't even no cell phones then. Remember, there wasn't no cell phones back in 96 and 95.
Oh.
So then I'm like, man, so I ended up linking up with my partner, Repo Rick, who had a record label. And, he used to do like stuff with Delicious Vinyl and things like that. So I was doing street teaming with them. And we ended up booking a tour for his artist that was on Bad Boy. A Bad Boy tour with Biggie when Biggie first came out. They was calling him Notorious B.I.G. And he called me and he said, Mucci, pack your bags. He talked real fast and everything. He said, pack your bags, we about to go on tour. We about to do a 20-city tour with a Bad Boy and Notorious B.I.G. and all that. The phone beat, because we still had the three-way. The phone beat, I clicked over, it was one of my partners, and he was like, hey man, what you doing this weekend? We gonna go up to LA and try to get on Soul Train. Oh, I'm like, I say Soul Train, I go on tour. Soul Train, I go on tour. And what I did was I ended up picking going on tour because I'm like, Soul Train always gonna be here.
Right.
So I'm like, this little 20-something tour, I'm like, shoot, this is money in the pocket.
That part.
And I went on tour, and then once I got to Chicago, I'm like, well, I ain't been home in like 6-something years. And the tour was over with. And then I just sat there and said, I'm gonna go ahead and go home.
Okay.
So I just left California, went on to Cleveland, and everything else is history after that.
And here we are.
I missed that opportunity to get on Soul Train, though.
It's never a missed opportunity, because if you got on Soul Train, would you have made the Cleveland Shuffle?
Oh yeah, that's true. I wouldn't that wouldn't have happened.
That wouldn't have happened. But I do have one question. Did you at least wear MC Hammer pants at one point during that stretch?
Oh, I did. I had all shoes. I had the black ones. I had the white ones. I had pants with the zippers all in them. Shoot, I even had the biker shorts with the biker set. Shoot, you couldn't tell me nothing.
You was doing the MC Hammer dance across the stage with Notorious B.I.G.
No, I wanted to, yeah, but I jumped from that to that. But it was a good time. I had a good time.
That was the golden era where inventions was still fresh when it came down to music, not the same way it is now, which brings me to my next question, or just my research. The Biker Shuffle is listed on Spin Diddy as number 8 of the 67 top line dancing songs, above T-Pain's Booty Work. It has been alleged that Beyonce used the Biker Shuffle on the Formation tour. How iconic is both of those accolades?
One, I didn't know about the Spin Diddy, so I am very honored in that. And I have to look that up so I can screenshot it and post that all on my pages right there. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, when you're coming up independent, with no backings, no major labels.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? No big team. It's an honor for you to even be getting on charts and being even played on the radio. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When people think it's so political in this music game. And then like as far as with the Beyonce, that just blew me back. And it was funny though, because Cupid, the guy who made the Cupid Shuffle, he the first one who told me.
Wow.
Because he was saying, he called me, he was in I believe Orlando or Tampa. And he was like, Mooch, why Beyonce doing a Biker Shuffle on the stage? Because he was at her concert. And I'm like, what? I said, hold on, let me go online. And I'm going online and I couldn't find it like on Facebook and YouTube. Mm-hmm. But then I went to Twitter and I typed it in, and then I just started seeing a lot of people on Twitter like, look at Beyonce doing a Biker Shuffle. Oh, she's doing a Biker Shuffle. And I'm like, oh, that's what's up.
Right, right.
Then, so I said, but she could at least had me there. You know what I'm saying? I could have been there and taught her how to, I don't know who taught her how to do it, but I'm like, shoot, I wish she would have hired me to come on. I would even came just on the love and just taught her how to do the dance.
Well, looking on YouTube, but she does pay homage to artists like yourself, whether if she bring you out or you sampling something of yours. So I think that's just phenomenal that she even, Cleveland? She's from Texas.
Right. And did my choreography on stage. In
that part.
And was on her tour, so that was part of her stage routine. So that's a big blessing for me. I like that.
Yeah, she's from that part. She's from the Dirty South. Okay, so tell me about your 2022 album or releases, and where you asked fans to help you come up with a genre, and have you come up with it yet? I know you hadn't in 24 hours, but
well, no, what it is like my movement is called the line dance movement. Mm-hmm. So like normally all my albums, you know what I'm saying, starting first one was called the Shuffle Step Slide once I really picked up, but like this right here would be like the line dance movement part 3.
Okay.
And what it is more likely I'm just going to have mixed genres all through it, but I'm just going to the fans to see which ones they feel that I should put out first. Mm-hmm. And it's a hard choice because I got people saying country, I got other people who want the Southern soul, and I'm starting to see other people saying like the R&B pop. So I'm like, I might have to just make one and just mix it all up together as one, and then break them down individual. So
that part.
I just need to, as long as I come up with the right beat for it to make people, bob their heads or snap their feet as soon as the song come on. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm on it. It's on there.
Well, you make timeless music, so that's one thing, and and that just brings me to my next question. You put out a 2014 jam on TikTok called "The Set Slide" during the pandemic, and it skyrocketed into a viral sensation. Since that experiment, what have you learned about the power of social media and marketing music to the right target audience?
Well, what I noticed is that with social media, it spread it all over the world. Mm-hmm. And it's like when I did the TikTok, I wasn't expecting nothing. It was something new. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there, I said, man, let me go ahead and try this. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I put the song up, no later than maybe about 4 or 5, 6 hours later, people started doing the duets, and then other people started doing the dances, and it just started spreading from all different types of cultures. I started getting people over in China, over in the UK, everybody doing the dances, and then once again, they in my inbox, hey, put another one up. You got any more dances? I said, oh, do I have more dances? Oh, yes. And once again, I'm doing it for the fans and for the supporters. And that's when I just started dropping more videos. And like, I would say I got at least 5 videos that all have over millions of views. From the Set Slide, I have one called the Birthday Slide. Mm-hmm. I have one also for breast cancer awareness called the BCA Shuffle, which is a real big hit. The Trail Rider Shuffle was a big one. And then, and they just still constantly growing. And it's like people don't want to see nothing else. They're like, man, put that one on there. Put that one on there. I got people I just ran across to it the other day. The lady, I think half of her videos is all her videos doing my dances.
Oh, that's
you know
awesome.
What I'm saying? But they getting more views than I'm getting. I'm like, wait a minute now, hold on.
Hold on, lady.
Yeah, like it's one social media star now. I can't remember her name offhand, but she did my song, The Trail Rider Shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
She instantly got like 5 million views.
Wow.
I was still like at 100,000, but she was like 5 million views, and then she ended up getting on the news. She got on the Steve Harvey show.
What?
All that
doing your
shuffle. Off of doing my dance on TikTok.
Wow.
I ain't get a phone call or nothing say, man, thanks for the love. Or I ain't getting nothing. I'm like, hey, as long as my music getting out there and people dancing to it, that's all I like.
That's right. And you get into the bag. At the end of the day, you know, you still getting requested to do all these tours, and you have one coming up next, Epic Soul Family Reunion, and you're coming to the Carolinas. Let's talk about it.
Yes, Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Yeah, and funny, I got booked for that last year. That's it. I got to get you now before I know. Shoot, the way your stuff moving on social media, you're going to be booked up next year. So let me go ahead and get you right now. And you know, we handle the business, and I can't wait. You know, saying there's a lot of big time celebrities on there, Southern Soul legends, and I'm just coming to bring the flavor.
Okay. Coming to bring the line dancing. So why do you think line dancing is still so popular even in this generation or era of music?
Well, I think, you know what I'm saying, it depends on the people, but it's something that gives you, it makes you feel good. Mm-hmm. It's feel good music. People love to dance. But now also we into the world of fitness.
That's right.
And things like that. And a lot of people use it for fitness. You know, they don't want to do the jumping jacks and the jump rope, you know what I'm saying? And they just do the dance because a lot of people have been exercising to my dance. They also incorporated my dance in the United States into the elementary schools and junior high schools as part of phys ed. So they was telling me when I was talking to them, they were saying that these children are starting to have like weight problems, basically, you know what I'm saying? And some they don't feel right with themselves, but they said, you know, when it rains outside, you know, there's no more of that climbing ropes and running from line to line because, you know, some people have health issues.
That's right.
So they said what they do is they teach them my line dances like the biker shuffle, the Cleveland shuffle, you know what I'm saying? Even the trail rider shuffle. They teach and they say it so the kids, they just think they're having fun dancing, but they actually exercising.
That's
like their little trick. Yeah.
Look at your legacy popping off.
Well, I'm trying to make it happen.
So you have some projects coming out like with some heavy hitters that I feel is phenomenal. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I have a project coming out with DJ Kool, the guy from Let Me Clear My Throat. You know what I'm saying? We have one together. We call it the Cha 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 remix. It's actually me, him, and Cupid. I have one with Brother Maurice. That used to be a member of the 2 Live crew. Me, him, and the legendary DJ Taz. You know, they was in that bass booty shake era. You know, back in the '90s. You know, down there in Atlanta. And I got some more coming up. I got a lot coming up. I don't want to speak on it yet until the song is actually done. You know, but I have it's a lot getting ready to come.
That part. You've been very cognizant in keeping your music clean too. So I think it's definitely loads of fun. And you even made something specific for the concrete cowboys, you know, as I like to call it. So what stimulated those projects?
Not to cut you off, you got to add the cowgirls too now.
The cowgirls. Okay, queens. Yeah. I got you girls. Okay.
Cowboys and cowgirls. Yeah. Well, what it is, it's a culture in the South and like in the Carolinas called trail riding or saddleback clubs where it's a whole community of the darker hue cowboys and cowgirls that ride horses and things like that. I don't like to say the W word, you know, I say darker hue, lighter hue. And and the thing is that you know, I used to get a lot of inboxes on Instagram, I mean not Instagram, but on Facebook and on YouTube with people doing in the trail rides doing the biker shuffle and the Cleveland shuffle a lot. Right. And it was like, man, the trail riders, they love your music. They love your music. Because, you know, in Cleveland, we don't see black people, darker hue people on horses. you know, we see the police on horses, but we don't see nobody else riding horses.
I see the popo, okay?
Yeah. So when I seen it, I'm like, what is this? And then, you know, I started seeing video after video, and it's like thousands. I mean, this field packed with people doing it. So I'm like, by them showing me love, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and show them some love. And that's when I came out with the Trail Rider Shuffle and dedicated it to the whole trail ride, darker hue cowboy, cowgirl movement. But it's for everybody. But you know, that was the basic, what made me come up with it.
Okay, so what's the next Buzz single that's coming out this year or is out now?
Well, right now, you got the Trail Rider Shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
And then the follow-up is called the Cowboy Boogie, which is like picking up heavy steam.
Right.
It's picking up real big steam. And those two, and then also the Set Slide. The Set Slide is still growing.
Right.
You know, because the thing is once again, I'm an independent artist. So by me being independent, it usually goes region to region.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody don't get it at the same time as if I was on a major, because everybody have it at the same time. So now, like people in the South Carolinas, they might be on it, but now California, Denver, Omaha, Nebraska, they just starting to get it.
Right.
So the thing about the beauty about that is that it keeps the music going.
Right.
And that's what really gives that super longevity, because by the time that kind of fade away, now it's real big on the other coast.
That's right.
So it's still going, still streams going, and now they look like what's new. And by that time, the East Coast are already on something new. So it's just like a revolver, you know, just keep going in circles, and I'm loving it.
Just like when it's played in other countries, because I mean, they are ahead in certain things, but as far as music, the music is still in rotation in other countries like China and places like that.
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing is great, but, and it's no but to how you are marketing your brand, but is there anything else as far as the business side of it that you've learned, you know, through trial and error that you wish you could have done differently?
Yeah, I wish I would have knew a little bit about the music business when I first started. Because remember, I came in just playing around.
Right.
I didn't know nothing about ASCAP and BMI. I knew nothing about, you know what I'm saying, publishing and trademarking and copyright. I knew nothing about all that. And then like just recently, I learned about public administration.
Wow.
And them the ones who collect from overseas and all your mechanical royalties. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm still learning, because you know I'm grinding on my own. So everything I'm doing, I do my research. I get on YouTube and go on Google and just look up stuff, and like, man, I don't understand this, but then I go look it up, and everything just start, you know, blending in together. So hey, I'm trying to make it happen.
You can't go wrong with YouTube University ever.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They'll teach you everything. You might even get some links to tell you something different. So you know what I do is I look at least about 4 or 5 videos on the same subject, but by different people, and then I say, okay, they all said this, so this got to be true.
That's right.
And I say, okay, well they said this, they said that, and then another video said you don't need neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? Just do this.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, okay, that sound. You know, just try to use common sense and logic.
That's right. It sounds feasible. Shoot, I was going to go quit my day job and become an IS support because I was so good at fixing my crashed computer, but I changed my mind. That would be the extent of me in IS support, is fixing a crashed computer. And that's just
right.
So I can dig it. So work-life balance. You do work full-time. You're touring all over the world. You're booked and busy into 2023. How are you sustaining?
Well, with my job, they know what I do. So, you know, I only work pretty much 1 or 2 days a week. You know, we're now after the pandemic, only do 1 day a month.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, yeah, but before, when I was doing full time before the pandemic, you know what I'm saying, I was only working like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And, you know, Thursday through Sunday, I was off. Right. Because they knew I always went out of town on the weekends for the performances and things like that. So it's always good. I tell all artists, never quit your day job.
That part.
You know, never quit your day job, because, you know, your music is not promising. You know, it might blow up now. Next year, it might be a whole different wave. And now you're looking like, oh my, you know what I'm saying? You didn't quit your job for 20 some years, and now you got to start back from day one.
Right.
I got to keep working, because, you know, when I get about 70 years old and try to get Social Security, and they say, well, you've been working there for the past 30 years. I can't sit there and say, oh, I was line dancing. Like, you gonna go ahead and go to Walmart and bag up some groceries or
Ooh,
something?
listen, Walmart baggers be mean, but just disgusted with life, okay?
Yeah.
But
So I got to keep a job with me. I have to keep a job.
not all of them. Some of them are a joy. Just in case I run into you, you're great.
Oh, yeah.
But with that being said, you call yourself the godson of line dancing. Why is that?
Well, I got labeled that, because I used to always go around saying the king of line dance music, because there's no other artist that anybody can look up to have more line dance records than I have.
Right.
Like that. Now, the godson came about is because some of the elders in the line dance community and people out of Detroit that's real heavy on line dancing, it was like my song, the Cleveland Shuffle. When I do the call outs, right foot not, left foot not, things like that. The last time there was call outs in a line dance was back in the 70s, like around 73, with a song called The Bus Stop by a guy named Charlie Green. And then before that, because urban line dance started in the late 60s, like about 57, going into the early 60s with a song called The Madison, which also had the call outs of how to do the dance. All the way to 73, most of the line dance had call outs in them, and then that's when it stopped.
Wow.
1997, I comes out doing the call outs. Now, I ain't know this at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was informed on this, and I started doing the call outs, and people was like, well, you might well say you like the godson because you rebirthed this, to what is going on now, because after me, like I said, came Casper with the Cha-Cha Slide, my man DJ Maestro with the Turbo Hustle, then Cupid came with the Cupid Shuffle, and then all the other artists that came out now doing call outs in their songs. So she said, you got to pat yourself on the back and talk your mess because nobody wasn't doing line dancing with call outs.
That's right. Not even Booty Bounce.
Well, right, yeah. Because Booty Bounce was just house.
Right.
Booty Bounce was just a house record,
Right.
Like you said earlier, I'm the first in Cleveland, in Ohio, who made a house record. Because house wasn't known in Cleveland. That was a Detroit, Chicago, and then, like Baltimore and Philly, they call theirs like club music, but it's still the same, that fast rhythm, that fast beat. Yeah. Right,
because we didn't call it line dancing when I was growing up. Not growing up, but when I was a teenager, we called it house music. So when we went to the club, it was like the percolator. It was house music. So you're right.
It was just that. Yeah, it was that. So, that's what Booty Bounce was. But then when I put a line dance to it, but I didn't do the call outs. But when I did the Cleveland Shuffle, I did the call out so people can know it. Because, some people, all right, what you supposed to do? I'm lost. You know what I'm saying? But like when my records come on, you could come on, say you came to a party or a cookout or even a club in the middle of the record, you could jump right in because you know the steps because they right foot now. Okay, I'm on it now. I'm ready now,
Right.
So,
Let me ask you something. Do you think the Tootsie Roll was a line dance?
It would have been a line dance if it had rotation in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you know your stuff, all right.
Yeah. It would have been a line dance if they would have turned and repeated the same movements.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my song, The Birthday Slide, because I was a real huge 69 Boys, but T-Pain is my favorite artist, but 69 Boys, 95 South, 2 Live Crew, that's them the people I just, just study.
Right.
And like I said, and with the Tootsie Roll, if he would have said, Tootsie Roll, now turn to the left, and did it again, then it would have been a complete line dance.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so you gotta feel great that you number 8 on that list, and T-Pain is up under you. He's like a couple of numbers down, but that's awesome.
Hey, it's an honor just to be in the same list with him. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
Category with him, sure.
That part.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna send it to you after this interview just so you can get your eyes on the prize. So
yes, ma'am.
Now with the pandemic, though, it's been a struggle for many people across the globe. But for creators and inventors like yourself, how have you been able to, get out there with your music and just make it pop?
Well, with that, I'll have to give everything to TikTok and social media, because now when I'd have made so much money off of that TikTok and just the social media thing during the pandemic. It's crazy.
That's a blessing.
The reason being is because, remember, the whole country was shut down.
Right.
So everybody was in the house, and it's 2020, 21, all that. Everybody on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
They need entertainment. They, what I'm saying,
right.
They can't go outside. People can't go to work. What I'm saying, people just stressing out because they're worrying about, where the next money gonna come from and things like that. Or, you got people that's in relationships that can't see they boo, things like that, because you can't travel all like that. You get on TikTok, you seeing Big Mucci doing the set slide and the biker shuffle and all that. People like, well, shoot, I like this. And they get the binge watching. And then next thing you know, they like it. And next thing you know, they set their phone up and duetting and doing it. And it just grew.
Okay.
And it just grew. So, what I'm saying? And then that leads up to the promoters who watching saying, ooh, soon as this pandemic over with, we getting him out here. We getting him out here. What I'm saying? Because people ready to entertain. They need some entertainment. They're ready to party.
Mm-hmm. Clean entertainment.
So it works. Yeah, it works good. And then, also the pandemic helped a lot of people who wanted to start small businesses really can sit there and focus on their thing now, because they're not going to work 8 hours a day, coming home and maybe having children or a family to deal with, and then thinking about their business. Now they at home all day. Oh, I could be on YouTube and learning the trademarks, learning how to copyright, learning what business I want to create. And, it was just, to me, it's like a reset, but it's a blessing that it happened. I mean, the people that passed away, I don't like that, what I'm saying, because of the pandemic.
Right.
But it also helped a lot of people, what I'm saying, get themselves together.
Right. A whole bunch of LLCs got birthed out of the pandemic as well. So
yes.
people getting their cake up, that's for sure. I was not one of them, but I plan on it.
A lot of podcasts blew up off of that. A lot of YouTubers, what I'm saying, because all day people just watching because they had nothing else to do.
They had nothing else to do. So, and that, I went virtual because I was not virtual originally. I get so many stories, so transcribing and writing them up, and they were coming in fast. They were coming in hot, and I'm like, oh.
right. Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah. You had to start doing virtual. You got to go virtual now. People want to see each other.
That when I say coming in hot, they were coming in hot, and I'm like, nah, I can't write all this up. My brain, number one, I got to sleep, I got to work, I got kids.
Right.
So the pandemic, it brought a lot of sorrow and grief, but it also brought a lot of newness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where people could be inventive, and you found your niche, you found something else, you found a talent. So that was the other thing. So my last question, where can viewers follow you, find you, download your music, stay up to date with what you got going on?
Well, you can find me on every social media platform that you use, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube is at Big Mucci. That's BIGMUCCI. And as far as the music, Amazon, was that Apple Music, any sites that you listen to your music on, just type in at Big Mucci, BIGMUCCI, and you will find me.
Let me see that booty bounce.
I had to change that it's called the bounce now. I took out the word booty so it could be clean for the children in the churches and things like that.
All that
and
stuff.
Now it's just, let me see you bounce. Let me see you bounce.
Listen, I ain't got no booty anyway. We could deal with that. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.